Hello everyone, Chris here with Platinum Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing the newest Platinum review for you guys. Today we are going to be reviewing Scarlet Nexus for PlayStation 5. Scarlet Nexus is developed by Bandai Namco. It's a new IP, and yeah, we'll jump right into it. Now, before I do, if you have not seen any of my reviews before, a platinum review is where I platinum the game, I get all the trophies, and then I review it. That way you get a full review and not some half-ass review. With that being said, let us jump into the platinum review of Scarlet Nexus. Now, there's a lot of sections that I want to cover, but we are going to start with the very most important thing for this game. My biggest gripe of all with this game, we are going to start right off with, and that is this character right here. His name is Gemma, because that's my last name. And they call him Gemma. Why are you gonna butcher my last name like that? Like, oh, I was so upset with that. Well, all jokes aside, though, I mean, it's not really a gripe, but I was very, very excited when I was scrolling through the trophies. I was like, oh shoot, that's my name. I'm famous now. I made it, Mom. I called my mom. I was like, I made it. Look, I'm on this game, and she's like, okay, Chris. And then they talked and they said Gemma, and I was like, no, you don't know how many times I've gone to places and they'll say my name and completely butcher it, just like this game did. And yeah, it's very, very disappointing. I've never met a Gemma in my life. Never met a Gemma. I've met Gemmas, even the first name. People have the first name of Gemma. Never met a Gemma. So I was really disappointed in that, but it didn't take away from the score at all. I just want to throw that out there because I was like, you assholes, I had my moment to shine and you took it away. So let's start the real review now. So we are going to jump right into the actual review now. We are going to start with the story. The story of Scarlet Nexus is a complicated one to explain. And if you've seen any of my reviews, I do not like talking about the story. So I will not bore you with all the details for the story. I'll bore you. What are you talking about, Chris? As far as the story goes, what I will tell you, though, is you have two different characters to choose from, Yuito or Kasane. One thing that I was really, really blown away by with the story is you have your set story. So if you choose Yuito or Kasane, you have the set story that you follow. The other character will pop up during the story at certain points. When you beat the game and then you choose your New Game Plus, you can then play as that other character and see the other viewpoint of those same events unfold. So all the missing puzzle pieces from the first person story are then put together so that you have a full story. And it's really cool being able to see these two different viewpoints. And I thoroughly enjoyed the story. It was very surprising how well thought out the story was, and it was definitely out there. The story is definitely out there, but it was intriguing. It's something that hadn't been done before. It was a really interesting story, and I definitely liked it. Now, there is an anime for the game, so if you don't have a console to play it on, or if you don't know if you want to buy it, maybe the game style isn't your type, or whatever. Who knows? There is an anime. It's available on Funimation, I believe, but so you can watch the stories unfold. I haven't seen the anime yet, so I don't know if it follows the game exactly or if it's like another telling of it or anything like that. But yeah, there is an anime for it. It's only subbed, so if you don't watch sub stuff, then probably won't like it. But there is an anime if you do want to check out the story, which I highly suggest checking out the story. Like I said, it's really, really unique, and I thoroughly enjoyed the story of this game. So now we're going to jump into the gameplay of the review. The gameplay in Scarlet Nexus is pretty fun. You control, like I said, either Yuito or Kasane. Both of them have similar type abilities. Their weapons are a little bit different. And I think that was one big gripe I had with the game, was these two characters that you spend, the whole story playing as. Then once you beat the game and you switch over to New Game Plus, you're pretty much playing the same game, just different weapon as far as their main weapon. The powers and skill tree, everything like that the characters have are the same exact thing. So it's not like a brand new character. I understand them having the same abilities and stuff like that, so it makes sense that they would have the same powers. But if I just spent 30 plus hours playing as one character, I feel like it would have been more refreshing for them to have new powers. You could still have the same type of power, but different abilities, different move sets, stuff like that would have been really cool instead of just a different weapon. So I think that was a huge miss for me. As far as that goes, though, past that, the game's fun. You have your characters, your main characters that you play as. There's things called combo links where you can use the abilities of your teammates. There's brain drive, brain crush. There's so many things. One thing that I really, really, really liked about this game is that everything was uniquely paced within the game. So you would be playing and you would get introduced to a new ability, and before that ability got stale or was just introduced, they give you a new power. So you don't get too stuck on one power for too long, one ability for too long before you're like, okay, this is fun, cool, this is getting boring. It's really refreshing how they just keep adding and adding and adding to your repertoire, and I really liked that about this. I thought it was very well placed out for the powers, and I had no gripes on that at all. I thought they were really cool. Like I said, though, it would have been really cool to see the different characters have different abilities instead of using the same move sets. I feel like that would have been a little bit more fun and would have added some enjoyment to the game for me. The next thing is music. Now we're going to touch music really quick because I don't like to talk about music too much unless it just like blows me away. I enjoyed the music. The opening theme song is pretty dope. There was a few times where I would just leave it on there and just listen to that while I was like doing dishes or something like that. So I enjoyed the music in the game. I think everything was scored well as far as the areas that you're in. No song was kind of just like overplayed, anything like that. So I enjoyed the music in the game. It was nothing incredibly amazing, like Neo: The World Ends with You or Persona 5. The music in those games are just, phenomenal, blow you away. So this isn't anything that would blow you away. There's no music in here where I'm like, you have to play this game. This music's amazing. I wouldn't say anything like that. It's not bad music whatsoever. So I have nothing negative to say about the music. It's just nothing that really blows you away. So yeah, that's it for the music. Now the next section we will be discussing is graphics. This game is pretty. This is a very, very pretty game. I really like the graphical style of this game. It has a anime type feel, not the typical JRPG style. I think there are a few games that are kind of characters look similar to this, but as soon as I saw this game for the first time, I was like, that kind of looks like it's an anime, and then it does have an anime too, so it's like, okay, cool. But yeah, graphically, I think the game's gorgeous. There are some moments in the game where you're taking down enemies and everything just looks really, really good. Now, I guess this could fall into graphics. They have a weird thing that they do, and I don't know how to word this, so this might sound weird coming out, but you'll have cinematic moments. So you'll have a cinema come on, and then it'll cut off mid-cinema and go to side-by-side pictures of people talking, and then it'll go back to cinema, and it'll kind of bounce back and forth between them. Moments that I feel like would hit even harder, like with the story. So I guess it's kind of story too. But moments that I think would hit just a little bit more if they would have had cinematic moments are just people talking, pictures pulled up, which I have no issues with that. Like Persona 5 is one of my favorite games of all time, and that, has pictures popping up and people talking and stuff like that. But Persona 5 doesn't swap out between them, and I think moments in that are brought out with actual cinematic scenes, and I feel like this would have really benefited from that instead of switching back and forth between them like it did. So I was kind of thrown off on that at the beginning, and there was definitely one or two scenes where I was like, okay, this would have been better to actually have cinema for this. So it was actually noticeable for that, where I was like, this could have actually done a lot better if they would have had a cinema. So yeah, I guess that falls into graphics because it's graphics that you're seeing on the screen. But a little stretch right there. Yeah, but other than that, I mean, I really like it. The character models, like I said, are super, super awesome. The enemy models are really good. I have no gripes about the graphics. I didn't run into any graphical glitches whatsoever, minus some people like getting stuck on stuff and everything, but that wouldn't really be graphical. So, yeah, I mean, as far as the graphics go, this game is freaking gorgeous, and I really, really like how it looks. Another section that I'm going to touch base on really quick is replayability. I do not see Scarlet Nexus as a game that has a very big replay value. There is, after you beat the game, unlocking New Game Plus, where you can play as the other character. And I definitely think that has replayability factors to it, because you get to see the missing pieces to the story that you did not get to see with the first character. So that, yes, definitely has replayability factors to it. But as far as after you get the platinum, I don't see another reason to replay the game. Other than maybe a few years down the road, being like, you know what, I want to check this out again. The game is fun, but there's not really enough to make me go, yeah, let me drop another 60 hours on this or whatever. So as far as replayability, only that one extra storyline really helps. Now this part's always fun to do. Yeah, this is a fun part right here, talking about glitches. Scarlet Nexus is a great game, a really, really fun game, but it is not oblivious to the glitch. You will have times where you are trying to interact with somebody and instead your character just attacks. I had that happen on multiple occasions. It's super annoying, and you pretty much just have to stop what you're doing and then re-go back to the target. Jumping in this game is difficult. Never has a game come along where jumping on a ledge has just became a chore in itself, harder than the actual enemies, which the enemies, auto lock doesn't work half the time. You'll go to auto lock onto a target and it'll switch to somebody else. Then you'll turn around and be like, no, I want to fight him. And no, you're going to fight somebody else. So the auto lock feature is broken. Most of the time I just logged on to the actual people I was fighting. But other than that, those are the only huge glitches that I ran into. All right, now we're going to talk about two features really quick. I guess I have to start adding them into my reviews if I remember. But since we're on PS5, we have an SSD and a DualSense controller that we have to take into account. So as far as this game, it loads up pretty quickly. There aren't really a lot of load screens unless you're fast traveling from place or moving place to place. And those load anywhere from 3 to 5 seconds, so really quick load times. So the SSD works magnificently. I don't know what word I was messed up magnificently, but yeah, you know what I mean. As far as the DualSense controller is concerned, it works really well. The functionality on it, L2 is whenever you're trying to pull a bigger object, you can feel the resistance of that object and the controller kind of vibrating as you're trying to pull that object. R2 is for smaller objects, and you can kind of feel that vibrate as well. There's not really, resistance with that. Now, the only thing with the R2 button is when there's a lot of objects in the area, it'll kind of vibrate whenever an object's available for you to pull on. And it made me wonder if my controller was broken a few times because my controller was just felt like something was loose in it. There was nothing loose. It was just trying to pick up the objects. So there's vibrations in the controller and everything, but nothing too crazy. I feel like the DualSense features are okay, but I feel like they didn't, try and go over the board with it or do anything crazy with the DualSense. It feels like they took a safe approach to it, but it's still pretty cool. Now to finish this up, we'll talk about trophies really quick. As far as trophies go, all the trophies are pretty easy to get in the game, as long as you play through the game with both characters and just play through the game. All trophies are obtainable. There are no missable trophies in the game. As far as there is one, I guess you could miss a couple of trophies if you accidentally save over your save file, whatever. One piece of advice I would suggest is have everything knocked out with Yuito as far as the bond levels, everything like that, before you move over to Kasane. Those bond levels are all obtainable once you get to one of the final days, or one of the final phases, so you don't have to really worry about, am I going to miss something, because they're all unlockable. So I would just make sure you have a save file, and then once you beat it with Yuito or Kasane, whoever you choose first, then create a second save file for the clear save. So your New Game Plus is on a different file. Two, if you have to go back to do anything with Yuito, you're not missing anything or messing anything up. So create a second save file. Other than that, there are no real difficult trophies in the game. The only trophy that I guess could be a little bit difficult is the collecting all the skills. Unlocking the whole skill tree will take some time. I know I had to play for at least 2 to 3 more hours after I beat the game to unlock all the skills for the skill tree. So, you can do a farming run or something like that to get those trophies or those final skills to get that last trophy. So that pretty much takes care of the trophies. I think the trophies are 2 out of 10 as far as difficulty goes. It's not hard at all. And if you have any questions about the trophies, let me know in the comments below. I'll try and help you out the best I can on getting them. Like I said, nothing's missable. So it's pretty straightforward. Now, as far as the game in total, I would give Scarlet Nexus on PlayStation 5 a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed the game, and minus those few gripes that I mentioned in the game, with the jumping mechanic, auto lock being goofy, stuff like that, that's not a word. I don't have really any issues with this game. It's a really, really solid title, and I definitely think it's a hidden gem. I really enjoyed this, and like I said, I wasn't even going to pick it up to begin with, so I'm really glad that I took that leap. And from not liking the demo at all and loving this game, I'm so glad that I just said screw it and got it anyway. So really, really suggest this game. I think it's a great title, and yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions about the game, let me know in the comments below. I'll try and help answer anything. Same thing with trophies. Like I said, I'll help you out the best I can. That is it for me, though. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Helps me out a bunch. That is it for me, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And as always, keep getting those trophies. I'll see you guys on the next Platinum review.